the Indianapolis Colts travel to Arrowhead, which was once a daunted place to play. This season, maybe not so much. But the sports books still think it's hard to play at this season, and Kansas City's favored by 3.5. I'm not going to say it's not a hard place to play, but it used to be, these past couple years, it's been nigh impossible to win at Arrowhead, and that has not been the case necessarily this season.
Give or take. Only Phillies won there this year, but sure. That's fair. And really only the great teams win there for the most part. Teams get really close.
So here we'll say this then. Colts, if you want to prove you're a great team, join the group of great teams that can win at Arrowhead.
I think that's the big storyline, really. Colts aren't going to get the right or the opportunity to eliminate the Kansas City Chiefs from playoff contention, but the rest of the AFC is rooting for Indianapolis to win this game, because if Indy wins this game, then the rest of the AFC and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving will have the rightful opportunity to eliminate them from postseason contention. I think if they get to the 7th loss, 9-7, I don't think is enough. I think Jacksonville is going to find enough wins, and the Chargers will as well, to make the postseason. And so,
do we think the Chargers intentionally lost at Jacksonville Sunday to make sure that Jacksonville make the playoffs over the Chiefs?
No. I forgot my mic off. No, because the Chargers were still in the running for the AFC West. They were like a game or two games behind the Broncos.
Well, they know they can chase down the Broncos and beat them again.
So you're saying they tried their best, but they're just like nothing in comparison to the Jaguars?
I'm saying that their offensive line is made up of a bunch of guys who could be serving French fries right now at McDonald's.
Regardless, Indy has the opportunity to then give someone else the opportunity to knock this team into the postseason. And there's kind of no excuses for Indy in this game. I honestly, it would be nothing but a true disappointment if they were to lose this game to the Kansas City Chiefs. Colts are off of a bye. Kansas City just played 2 straight weeks on the road with a bye in between the two. They finally get to come back home since the Monday Night Football game against the Commanders, but they're 5-5. Everything they have to do, they have to go 6-1, or they have to go 7-0 to finish out the season. And now they have to play what is one of the best offenses in the league, and Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones, who is top 5 in passing yards, and Jonathan Taylor leads the league in rushing yards. All the pressure is on Kansas City to win this game, and so Indy, I think, likewise has a ton of pressure to go out there and capitalize and win this game as well. I'm really, really curious to see how the Indy offense works against that Kansas City defense, works with the pressure on them. I've seen a lot of takes this week of Indy isn't ready because Indy hasn't played good teams, and I'd argue that's just not the case. Now, they have been defeated twice this year against the Rams and the Steelers, both of those games on the road, but they've played Denver and they've played the Chargers, and they won both of those games. Denver, they win off of Denver cheating, and then the Chargers, they dominated the Chargers, 138-24, and it really wasn't close. That score doesn't tell the story in that game really whatsoever.
Yeah.
People will say they struggled last week in Germany against the Falcons. You could agree to that however much you want, but I think the Falcons at that point still had something to play for, and it's a Germany game. It's an international game. You never know what you're going to see.
The Falcons
really ever.
are it's almost like you can't fault someone for losing to the Falcons, and you can't give anyone credit for beating the Falcons, because clearly there's some like divine intervention with all of those games. So
Absolutely.
like someone has like ordained that every Falcons game is going to end a certain way. It doesn't matter how good you are or what you're doing. It's just the script's been written. They're the
Someone
most
flipped a coin, and we just have to wait and see how it landed.
Yeah, I mean they're the most like the NFL scripted team ever.
For Indy, like they in-house, I'm sure really still think they can be the number 1 overall seed, and if they want to do that, they're going to have to win this game, obviously. But I'd argue between them, Denver, and New England, they have the toughest path remaining. They have, of course, played the Chiefs this weekend, but they still play the Jaguars twice, a playoff team. They still play the Texans twice, a team fighting for the postseason. They go to Seattle still. They host the 49ers. Those are their remaining games. All the remaining games are against teams either fighting for a playoff spot or currently in the postseason. And so there are no cupcakes. There are no Titans left on their schedule. There are no Raiders or Dolphins left on their schedule. Everything that they have to do, they will have to do against good competition. So if the people that had the take of, I don't think Indy's really played that many good teams and beaten really that many good teams, it'll prove itself out in these next 6 weeks, and we'll get to the postseason. We'll know what Indy is, and there will be no worries about, okay, well, Indy might lay an egg because they are 15-2. I think that could potentially happen with New England or Denver because of who they play down the stretch. New England a little less so, but especially Denver, they could very easily just lay an egg. Their defense doesn't show up for one game, it's over. I don't think that will be the case for Indy because they'll be very battle-tested at that point in the season. Getting into picking this game, Sanders, you will get to pick this one first. What are your thoughts? And then go ahead and give your pick.
I had thoughts that I don't remember what they were, so I'll just go ahead and get into picking it. Yes, the Chiefs in one-possession games, undefeated at this point in the season. Why would I pick them to cover a one-possession spread? I'm going to go Colts to win by one possession, as teams tend to do against the Chiefs. Those are my thoughts. The Chiefs are bad this year.
In one-possession games.
In one-possession games.
Patrick Mahomes is also the surprise last season in Kansas City. Some Chiefs fans they're getting ready to usher in the DJ Lagway era.
Yep.
Which you got to wait another year for that.
So
I'm
I
sorry.
guess they'll go Gardner Minshew for a season.
Yeah, probably.
And
And Andy Reid as well. According to Chiefs fans, he needs to be on the way out.
I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard the Jets reached out to Kansas City for Mahomes this past week as well.
I saw that
I think
report.
that was a burner account
It was,
as well,
but it was
but
funny.
that was a funny one.
During, after the trade deadline. Can't hurt to ask.
Well, they want to know what the odds were they could pursue him in the offseason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, of course, Andy Reid needs to be out 9 months removed from him being 4 quarters away from a three-peat, which no NFL team has ever done.
Could the Jets get some sort of early off-season appeal because they're already bad and dead? Then maybe teams.
They're already in their offseason.
They're already
is what
in the
you're saying?
off-season.
I don't know.
Maybe teams who are
Interesting
eliminated
question.
from playoffs should just be able to. They're already in the off-season. Start trading. We don't care.
No, because they still have games to play.
Yeah.
Sanders just picked Indianapolis, and then he's put it in the wrong category.
Schubert.
But the
No,
pyramid.
I think Indy will cover in the Buccaneers-Rams game.
Okay, fair. The pyramid has Kansas City minus 4.5, so the spread makes sense. And a lot of people would say the spread makes no sense, and that's why Indy is a pick for a lot of people this week. I'm going to go against my own pyramid once again. I think Indianapolis wins this game. I trust Shane Steichen off the bye. I think they're going to have a really, really good offensive game plan. I think Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the league right now, and he's really tough to stop, and I think he's just inevitable. I think it's like Saquon last year.
I think he's one of the best running backs behind the best offensive line.
Well, that's a similar story
Yeah,
for the Eagles team last year.
Yeah.
Great offensive line
I don't
play.
mean to, I just got into it with Wynn the other day. He was like, Jonathan Taylor is the best. I was like, I think if you put Bijan Robinson behind that offensive line, he would be putting up similar numbers.
What if you
Jonathan
put-
Taylor is still one of the best. There are no running backs better than him.
What if you put Bill Krosky-Merritt?
I think he could cook.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
As someone that watches every Commanders game, Bill's just given nothing to work with.
Is it sometimes against your will? Do you feel like you don't want to, but you make yourself do it?
No, not really.
Not to that point yet.
Because it's just kind of fun to watch a team that's pretty bad and you're just waiting to get a good draft pick. I gotta watch us miss field goals and get stopped on 4th down because Zach Ertz slips and falls in bed at 8:30 a.m. That's a glorious time.
That is
how do you
electric.
beat that? And then we
That's
go to
electric.
overtime and against another 3-7 team. There's some joy there. Matt Gay's missing kicks. He's now off the team. Sadly, I don't know why we
Yeah, it
waited
doesn't
till the
make any
season was
sense.
over to get rid of him.
Yeah, if we're
So,
tanking, we might as well keep him on the
I
team.
agree. But no, it's fully. I'm still willfully watching, and just trying to find the joy and the sparks.
I am too, just because Tyler Shuck is playing.
Sure.
For my Saints, that is. My point was, I think Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line is inevitable. like Saquon and that offensive line was last year. And so I think Jonathan Taylor has the big pop runs like he's had so far this season, like Saquon had last year. And this team will just be really, really hard to beat. The only way you're going to beat them is if you make Daniel Jones do what he's done in his past, which is fumble the football and throw interceptions, which he's been really bad at the last 2 weeks. And that can't be ignored. But I think they'll be ready. I think they'll have a really good offensive game plan off of a bye week. Shane Steichen will help Daniel Jones protect the football with the play calling. And I just think there are so many weapons that Indy has that with the bye week and an extra week of preparation, I don't think Daniel Jones turns the ball over, and I think Indy wins this kind of going away. I don't think they'll get it to double digits. No one blows out the Chiefs, but give me Indy convincingly in Kansas City, and I can't wait to see it. We are a week away, actually. We are a week away from Kansas City being 5-7.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Kansas City to cover. I just maybe it's like a toxic relationship or whatever. I just can't let go just yet. I can't give up hope just yet that Kansas City can turn this around, that they still have one last rabbit in their hat. So give me the Chiefs to kind of, I don't want to say, wait a minute, we have a little bit of life, but even with winning this one, it's a long road ahead.
Crazy. You're picking your Week 9 Super Bowl champions to lose. That's just so fickle.
No, I mean, I'm dialed, Coach.
I do have one more question. I meant to bring it up earlier, but my mind went blank and I forgot all of my points and talking points. Do we think Danny Dimes is back gone? Because he made that 1 week appearance. He had the 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Do we think he's gone again after his 1 touchdown, 1 interception last week?
No, I still think you have the potential for the games to be like that game, especially against good defenses and good defensive coordinators like Spagnuolo. And I feel the same about Sam Darnold now that we just saw the 4 interception game. It can happen again.
Yep.
But I think the bye week and the extra week of preparation, the extra week of game planning, and with Kansas City really being able to pay no attention to this game, they could not look ahead to this game at all because they had to play a division rival in Denver in a huge divisional game on the road. And so now you weren't able to start prepping for that game until Monday. And so I think they'll be behind. I think Shane Steichen, who is a great offensive mind, will be ahead. And I just don't think he'll put Daniel Jones in spots where he will turn the ball over.
Sure.
I think the only way that changes is if Chris Jones, shout out Mississippi State legend, game wrecks the game. And I think that's the only way, and he hasn't done that quite this year. So I don't think we'll see it this week, but we could 100% see it. And I would, in fact, be surprised if we didn't see it the rest of the way because he still has to play the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken, but he has to play the Texans twice, which is he plays the 49ers, but he plays the Texans twice, one of the best defenses in the league. He plays Seattle at Seattle, one of the best defense in the league, if not the second best. He plays the 49ers, and even though they don't have any of the weapons defensively, Robert Saw and that defense have been really good this year. So I think we will see multiple Danny Dimes games going forward. But I think with the extra week of preparation, it should lean all the way towards Indianapolis.
And he still has to play the Jaguars, who at one point I think led the NFL in turnovers. I don't know if they're still up there.
I can double check that.
That's what I'm on.
I mean, they're definitely still up there. I don't know if they lead anymore.
That was kind of what their defense hung their hat on for the first half of the first probably 5 or 6 weeks of the season, was just forcing a lot of turnovers. I don't know where they sit now, but that's still a scary game to go into. You still have to play them twice. With a team like that hunts for the ball,
tied for second.
So that could be a very easy situation where we see Danny Dimes make his reappearance again, in either of those games against Jacksonville. So I'll be interested to see how he plays against Kansas City and going forward.